Right.
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 No, you got to do it without laughing.
I know the instant I'm going to start, someone's going to do something.
No.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 2 of Styrene and Meatballs. Steve, hit the button. Oh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody that is listening, it's hard to describe. That has been probably the longest intro we have ever done. We are almost 4 minutes into the show already, and we've been live for a few seconds. So, welcome along to episode 2. The usual gang are here. We have Graham, James, and Steve. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
And how are we all fiddling?
Oh, fiddling very fine. Thank you very much.
Good, because we've all had a bit of a hectic weekend. So, all recovered?
Yeah.
So we are going to do the usual. We're going to quickly go around everyone's bench, see what they've been up to. It's going to be pretty obvious what most of us have been up to, especially after the 48 and 48 last weekend. So we will start off with, I've got them in order here on my screen here. So James, you are first in the list. So what have you been up to?
Well,
worldwide?
Obviously, I can't show the paperwork, but I've got loads of paperwork all over the place. But I did manage to get this back out of the box. So this is the Monogram B24D, which is part of the Model Officers Mess Facebook group's build, which is assembly ships. So fuselage is all done. I've got he says reaching over here. I've got a wing, 2 wings, because it's always good to have 2 wings. The engines are done. One wing is slightly primed, not fully, but I'm getting to that point where I'm priming. All the bits are off the sprue, so they're all on little crocodile clips, etc. And I'm literally just waiting for a mast set to arrive to mask up the windows, and then we can start priming and getting on. The only thing I've got to do is the turret for the top and the bottom, back rather. They've got to be made and put in place, and then obviously all the masking. But that's what's on my bench right now. There are a couple of the bits and pieces I can't say about, but there's that, and that's it really, and lots of paper.
Nice. Excellent. Can you show us your finished build for the 48 and 48, or as far as you managed to get?
Okay, yeah. So my build was a kit that I managed to finish very, very quickly because it was a box frame.
Yeah.
However,
for those of you that are listening, there will be pictures of all these builds on the Facebook page, so group. So head on over to that as well. So carry on. So
what we have here is a box frame that has a scene within it, which is a church wall, basically. The back of the church, if you like, or side, whatever. And it's got a church window, bit of broken brickwork, etc., all carved out of balsa foam, and then a bit of foliage growing up it, etc., etc. Now, the plan was to basically give the people over the 48 and 48 a vested interest in the build. So people gave suggestions as to what I could do, and I ignored most of them and just took bits of what they suggested to make this.
Yes.
And then what I've done as well is I've got 5 figures that I've started, not quite finished, but 5 figures from the US officers set from Mini Art. And the idea will be that once I'm a little happier with the figures, because they need to have a little bit more work done on them. So once I'm happy with them, then what I'll do is I'll take a picture of everything, and then put it up for auction, and the winning bidder will be allowed to decide what figures, if they want any figures or all five or a few of them, and where they want them put within the frame, and then that will be they'll go and take pride of place wherever they want to put it. So nice. That's what I did.
Very nice, very nice. So yeah, like I say to everyone, just if you want to see what we're talking about, if you are listening on a podcast, then yeah, head on over to the Facebook group when you get a chance. Take a look. So thank you very much for that, James. Much appreciated. And next we are going to move on to Steve, who looks like a rabbit in headlights.
Yeah, well, I'm currently building the 124th Spitfire. I'm enjoying it.
You just inside of that.
There's a couple of bits that are not quite correct, but that's my fault, not the kit. But yeah, it's coming along really nice actually. I'm currently working on the engine at the moment. Some bits in there, it's all painted and whatever. I've just got some more bits to add up onto it, shall I say, which are all on the sticks, as you said. I need to paint them and then paint them in the cockpit green, because that's what they are. And then there's a couple of pieces that need to be done in brass as well. So, but yeah, I'm quite enjoying the kit actually. It's going together well. What I really like about it is the fact that when doing it, everything's what you're doing with those part of the instructions is all on one frame.
Got you.
Okay. I say, and it just makes it so much easier. It's just rather than have to keep searching through like 4 or 5 different frames to build up one piece, But yeah, nice. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. And your 48 and 48 build? Did you manage to finish?
I managed to do the 148 Sherman and Tamiya.
And the Dio as well.
Yeah,
or a vignette, as it would be.
Vignette is what they call it. I don't know what they call it. What's it called? What's the difference between a vignette and a diorama? I don't know.
I can't believe he asked the question.
I think a diorama's got to have more than 3 people in it or something like that. It? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I've got one person, so it must be a vignette. But yeah, I was quite pleased with it actually. Different, shall I say, from building the 116, obviously, because it's much, much smaller. But yeah, it turned out all right in the end. So, like I say, do that in 48 hours. It's not happy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Work.
Well, thank you for that, Steve. And we will move on to Graham. Hello, Graham.
Let me just swap my camera over to that one. So, currently building the Airfix Sea King in 148. 148, it is 148, isn't it? Yes. Had that on the brain then. So I started this I started tinkering with it a little while ago, and after much deliberation yesterday, I've gone back to it. All I'd really done in the past was take a couple of little greeblies off. I'm building version A, which is the dark blue one, and coincidentally, it's also the one that needs the most bits chopped off and refilled. So go me. So I'd already done a few little bits on the exterior first time around, but as of yesterday when I restarted it, these aren't fixed in. I've just put them in there to jig them. So the pilot and the co-pilot seat is made up, and then I've started taking away the greeblies on the outside, filled them with a little bit of sprue goo. Just need to finish sanding those down, and then I'll be on to getting the first bits of paint down. But I'll probably knock a few sub-assemblies up before I go into the paint booth and try and kill a few bits. I'm loving this kit so far. I've heard lots of good things about it, not least from Mr. Skiffins. So I'm looking forward to see how the build goes.
Yeah. Are you planning to do it in yellow?
No, it'll be dark blue.
It's a shame. I just happen to have some of the right colour yellow that you could have used. Fair enough.
Well, I thought I'd leave that to the yellow experts, and I would do it in blue. Whether it be the right colour of blue, is only going to get.
Oh dear! And your 48 and 48 build, did you manage to finish?
Well, pretty much, yes. Surprisingly, so I did this little Tamiya Schwimmwagen. Hang on, let me switch my camera around because that can give you a better look from the side. If I go to, oops. Unfortunately, it means you've got to look at my face as well. But
So it's a little Tamiya Schwimmwagen, again on a little vignette, which I was quite chuffed with, to be honest. I haven't done any terrain before. Oops, get it right. I haven't really done any terrain before, so I was quite chuffed to get that.
Nice.
Squared away.
That is lovely.
Far too bright. The vehicle itself was a lovely little kit to build. I didn't really go to town on it. I just painted it in desert yellow and left it at that pretty much. Although I did repaint it with about 4 hours to go because I wasn't happy with the chipping. So it's turned out all right, but I probably could have. I wish I'd camoed it now. I wish I'd done it in the camo. But overall, I'm chuffed. I enjoyed doing it and enjoyed doing this bit, which was most important because I want to do more of that going forward. So, it was a good, fun little build.
Excellent. That's the main thing, isn't it? As long as you've enjoyed it, everything else is secondary.
Yeah, it was loads of fun.
The whole point.
What about yourself, Carl?
Okay, so myself, I've got a few bits on here, the stuff I've been working on. So this is Andy Hobby Headquarters 1/16th Sherman. We've got the guide wheels there. And we got one of the wheels, the main wheels here, and we've started on the bogies. So we started to put some of this stuff together, and it all moves and everything like that. So yeah, enjoying it. I know you finished yours, Steve. So
yeah, it's a great kit.
You know, it's huge. Just to give you some comparison, my 48 and 48 build, unfortunately, I did not manage to finish due to work. But again, I was building a Sherman Early Edition. This is as far as I managed to get.
Oh, nice.
The base paint is on. We did a very subtle camo scheme on it by just pre-shading. It was just basically primed in white. And then I put some black lines on it. And then we gave it a very small coating of Tamiya yellow. Tamiya's yellow colour. I can't remember the exact number of it. And got the effect I was actually looking for, which was a very slight, darker brown stripe effect. So not much to do on this. We'll do some more sand effects. We've done a few little bits. Do some watermarks up the side of it and get the decals on, and it's finished. So, yeah.
Nice.
So, like I say, I managed to get most of this done Friday night, Saturday. Like I say, Sunday was unfortunately swamped with work. So, but you can see the size difference in the wheels alone. Look at that. So that is where I managed to get to. Let me switch the cameras back around and bring everybody back onto screen. So that's where we're at. So, James, do you want to give us a bit of an update and the listeners a bit of an update on how the 48 and 48 went over the weekend? The guesstimate so far of what we've managed to raise, because we haven't got an accurate figure yet, I believe. So, yeah.
No, we haven't. We're still counting and verifying, to be honest. That sounds ever so posh, but it's not really that posh. It's just the wife and the mother-in-law counting the coppers. They got halfway through and then lost count, so they've had to start again. So
yes,
it's a big old bag of coppers. But no, in all seriousness, this year 2025 has been a record breaker on every level, beyond all belief. I'll leave the juicy bit for a little while, but if we start with the event itself, the amount of people watching is the highest we've had since we've been doing it. So an average of around about 55 over all of the stream episodes, which is just phenomenal. A maximum of 89 was one. Wow. It's just phenomenal. The watch hours on the channel are incredible, to be honest. I should have actually opened up the thing and looked, but I haven't got that in front of me. But that's phenomenal. It's just the amount of interaction has been amazing. Obviously, we got the Discord group from Friends, Models, Heroes running at the same time, and they had them a stonking weekend as well. They had lots of people visiting with them. I think I'm right in saying about a maximum of 16 or more in one go. And loads of people popping in for a little bit and then popping back out and all that. So loads and loads of people. The auctions, 56 lots in the American auctions over 3 days. 10 plus lots in the Australian auction.
12, I think.
Was it 12? Thank you. And the UK was 39 lots, I think, off the top of my head. An uptake of viewers for the Australian and people interacting from Australia and the Australasia area was up by about 365%, I think, off the top of my head, which is phenomenal. The bidding was just mind-blowing. And I think that was the money they actually physically took during the auction was up by about 400%. So that's quite amazing in itself. The UK, we did brilliantly with the auction. Most of the lots went for very good money. A few bargains here and there, but some great sniping going on as well. And some tears at the end of the auction for certain people that wanted certain things. But yeah, that was yeah, you're not the only one. There certainly was some lots there. Some amazing donations from all sorts of people. And then the amount of participation as well so far on the 48-48.org website. Obviously, if you took part, we'll put a picture up on the website for the year to say you took part and a picture of where you got to in the 48 hours. That's up to around about 70, I think, off the top of my head. But I know there was more than that. We had like crazy numbers. And there's a lot more pictures bouncing about, but I can't find them.
If people want to see what we've shown so far, head over to the Model Officers YouTube channel. We've just finished a live stream there, and most of the work is on there, presented by the lovely Graham.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, phenomenal. And then obviously breaking news that we had on that stream literally minutes ago was that one of our potential donors for next year, who couldn't unfortunately get in for this year, is a young gentleman from God, brain's gone. Sorry, Workbench Hobbies YouTube channel, and one of his supporters made a lovely donation last minute, which has just blown me away. I can't name the person. I really wish I could because I want to give him a shout out. But he made a donation on behalf of Clayton, who is the presenter of Workbench Hobbies, and that was a donation of $5,000 US. So that's 3,700 something pounds. So in one go. So that's just enormous and amazing and very, very generous. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's incredible amount of money, really.
Yeah, so I wish I could give us a total, but I can't because I have a rough idea what it is, but I don't want to announce it until I've verified and make sure that is what's there. So
no, definitely, but 100%.
We're definitely north of the 10,000 target that we had. Definitely well beyond that. And I know, speaking to Malcolm and the treasurer of his wife of the charity, that they were both Caroline. Sorry, they both were blown away on Monday when I was telling them what I think the total might be, and I can't even imagine what the impact will be for the charity, because last time was a much bigger impact than I realised. So well done to everybody that got involved and donated. And a big shout out. A big shout out has to go to the donators of the auction as well, because they're all listed on the website, and every donator has their logo and their website behind that logo. So please go through the website 48-48.org, go to the donators page and go and visit the donators and make a purchase on their webpage, because it would be phenomenal for them to see how the community reacts to their generosity as well. So just amazing.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you for that, James. Before we move on to any discussions we're planning to have, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed, listened, and commented. We've done one show, and we've got something like 60 or 70 views on the YouTube channel, and we've got 20 plus subscribers already just after one episode. So I think from all of us here, thank you very much. It means a lot.
Thank you very much.
Indeed.
So with that being said, what are we going to talk about? Has anybody got any gossip? Any news?
No.
It's been this week really has all been about 48 and 48.
Yeah, I think it's probably still recovering from that. It was a long weekend, but totally worth it. You, Graham, your first participation in the 48. So
Yes.
Yeah.
First of many, yeah?
I hope so. Honestly, it certainly wasn't planned. Certainly nothing I've ever really considered before. But Mr. Skiffin sort of snuck up on me at a vulnerable moment, and before I knew it, the leg irons were on, and I was getting pushed into the box and told to bang me cymbals and perform. So no
grinding.
And I'm honestly so grateful to be invited on, because I absolutely loved it. It was just a great thing to be part of from the very start. The way that it all kicked off. If I'm honest, I was expecting it to be a bit more of a slow burner. I wasn't expecting the first live stream when we kicked off on Friday night. Pretty much immediately, we had over 50 people watching, and the chat was alive, and there was the atmosphere was buzzing straight away. And as soon as we started building, I was loving it. It was so good, and that never stopped all weekend.
No.
As tired as we were getting, and certain members of us were getting more tired than others because of reasons, but the chat just kept going all weekend. Every stream, there was plenty to talk about. There was plenty of people chipping in. Sandwichgate was a big issue, and honestly, so many wrong people in this world. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, tomatoes in a sandwich, that's just wrong.
Just ridiculous. But yeah, it was just a great thing to be part of. It really was. And then going on from there and recovering over the week, and looking through everybody's finished builds as well, or even if they didn't finish, getting to where they've got. I mean, some of the builds that people have finished in 40 hours is phenomenal. They haven't had good rest period, I'm telling you, because it was, I mean, definitely go over to the Model Officers YouTube channel or our Facebook group and have a look at some of the builds on there. It's just amazing what somebody can turn out in 48 hours. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. And then looking at how much money we've made for the charity as well, it's just, as you can probably tell, I'm a little bit excited.
Yes. Incredible moments.
I'll shut up now for a bit.
Yeah, I know I went to work on the Monday and I was a bit like blurry-eyed, but I had pre-warned my staff on Friday. I said, I could be at work on Monday. I might not be very talkative. just let me be. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad, actually, but yeah, it was well worth the weekend, so that's good.
I've had no staff all week. There's been I've had one of my staff and me, and we've been massively busy. So I've been working 12-hour days all week. So I've had no time to recover until yesterday. But it's all been worth it. It's been so good. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I usually book the Friday and the Monday off, but this year I didn't, and I seriously regret that.
Yeah, I can't do that, unfortunately.
Seriously regret that.
Job I'm in, but yeah.
Yeah, for me, I always book off before and after as well. But this year, because because it's the wife's birthday close by, just after the event, I actually went away for a couple of days. Which, I tell you what, I can't believe what a good idea that was. Yeah, I was absolutely. But don't get me wrong, I had to drive a long way to get to where we were going. But even so, yeah, definitely needed the rest. So
you have a good time though. Enjoy it.
It was lovely. Yeah, we went down to Torquay and booked an Airbnb for a couple of days. The weather wasn't great. Don't get me wrong; it was a bit windy and cold. And the weather improved as we were leaving, so pretty normal.
Yeah, knew you were going.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lovely time away, and well celebrated, I think the phrase is. But what I wanted to do very quickly is going to take us back to the people that joined us. So the people that have joined the Facebook group, we pop out a welcome post, and within that welcome post it says to answer a question if you can.
Yes.
So the question that we pose to everybody is: you're trapped in a model kit box and was trapped in a model kit box for 24 hours. What kit is it, and how do you escape?
Yes. You're going to go through some of the answers because some of them are really good. Yeah,
I am. Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure it was a good idea when we did it. But I've been really, really amazed at how people have got involved with it. So Mal Mayfield was one of the people that has answered, and they said, "Hi all, I'm trapped in an Airfix 124 Bolton Paul Defiant box. I'm more than happy to stay in here with the kit feeling the plastic for 24 hours. There is no need to rescue me." Winston Gould also says, "G'day. I'm in a 135th Tamiya Tiger 1 late. Wait for a fellow club member to open the box and to put all the aftermarket accessories he buys for the kits." So that was quite clever. Yeah. Mark Ewing is there. He says, Tamiya 124th Skyline, a GTR R34. I've done that kit 5 times and would be easy to assemble. Build the car and drive my R34 out of the box, Knight Rider turbo style. Nice. Andrew Hass is there. He's saying, "G'day all. Armour 148 Hurricane Mark II-C, and I never want to escape."
Oh, I've got that kit behind me, and I need to build that.
Yeah,
it's such a good kit. I get that totally.
Yeah, it is meant to be a very, very good kit. And I'm just quickly going down to one of the others. Andy's there, Andy Morfitt. He says, Airfix Harrier GR7 172nd scale, my nemesis aircraft as a kid. I'd go full throttle on the stall, ripping myself right out of the box and to safety. So yeah, thanks for getting engaged and yes. Answering those. Not everybody's done it, but yeah, it tickled me that people enjoyed the madness and got involved. So if you do head over to the Facebook group, we put a post up every week welcoming all their members. And obviously, if you want to answer that question, please do so and make it as funny as you can.
Yes,
please do. Please do.
There we go. So what were we going to talk about? I've forgotten.
I'd like to know what your favourite, of all the builds you've seen that people have submitted, what was your favourite build of the 48 and 48?
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a complicated answer because I don't necessarily pick a favourite as such. I mean, I do love the fact that because obviously a lot of people message me and tell me, thanks for putting the event on, or this is my first time, or I'm dragging them in and saying, come on, you've got to give it a go. And seeing their reaction and how they get on is really the thing that does it for me, if you like. Certainly one of the ones, I mean, a couple of things jump out at me to start with. We mentioned that we would suggested to people to use the Airfix Submarine Spitfire kit, whichever mark you wanted, and the Tamiya Sherman any mark you wanted, and there were lots of those. So that was a really good thing. I really liked that. So much so that Dale made a comment that whether we're responsible or not, I don't know, but he had put a bundle out around that before the event of 148 Spitfires involved, and he kept running out of particular types, so he had to
mention that
the bundle. Yeah, so that's quite exciting if we got anything to do with that. Another thing that featured quite heavily, 3 or 4, I think, if I remember correctly, was the Tamiya KT ambulance, which looks like a really good kit. I do like that particular vehicle anyway, so that looked pretty exciting, and some very good builds on that as well, definitely. But yeah, there were I haven't got a favourite. There was just lots of different takes and great ideas as well.
There were a couple that jumped out. That very first plane that you showed, I've no idea what it was. The one that was coming out of the picture frame.
It was a Miles M6 or a Miles M9, something like that.
Yeah, that looked gorgeous.
I've still got the page open. Let me have a look. It was from Paul Gallagher, and it was a Dora Wings Miles M9 Master Mark 1.
That's it. Yeah, that
and
was
in a beautiful yellow and yellow underside and top camo scheme. Beautiful, really lovely build.
Yeah, that one got me. That was nice.
I mean, there was I don't know what it is. I know it's a tank, but it wasn't a Sherman. But it was again on a little vignette, as you call it. But it had all the stowage and everything on it.
Oh yeah.
It was really nice, and that person got their water correct.
Yes, they did. Yes, that was Michael Reiki. Reiki. And I'm not sure what tank it was. I think it's an American pattern or something like that.
I think it was a pattern.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little build. That really nice.
I like that.
Yeah,
very nice.
I know it's a pattern, but I can't remember the mark. I think it's an M10, but I'm not sure. I'm probably going to be people shouting at
the whole album's on the Model Officers Mess Facebook page if you wanted to have a look in the album. I had 2. The first one for me was Kieran McMullen's Tamiya KT. That was just stunning. I mean, the paint scheme was beautiful. The weathering was perfect. It's a lovely, lovely, tidy build as well. Really nice. I loved that. And then the one that blew me away was Neil Pluckett. I think on our live stream I called it a Vigan, but I actually think it's a Draken.
Yes.
Which, I mean, wow. That to put that together in 48 hours, especially to the standard that it's built, because it's a lovely, lovely, clean build, is amazing. That's an amazing build. I'm not sure what kit it was. I think it could be the Edward Dewar Draken in 48. But yeah, those 2 were the standout ones for me. Obviously, Rick Lawler's Abrahams, I think it was an Abrahams M1, I think.
Yes.
That's just stunning. And again, Michael Reiki's little pattern there with all the stowage on was lovely. Some cracking builds, but certainly Kieran's Tamiya KT and Neil's Draken stood out for me. They were amazing.
There was another nice one, which was I think it was a Seafire that had the wings folded up.
Yes, who did that?
That was a nice one. Because I'm not seen one like that before.
Yeah, the wings folded. That was Andy Fawcett.
Andy was in the Discord group, I think, as he was building that, if I seem to remember.
Yeah.
It was. As always, there's some amazing builds and some very talented builders get involved in the event, which is always great to see.
Yeah.
Rick Lawler, for example, I asked him very last minute to be our event ambassador this year. Mm-hmm. So there were a few videos that we played through the event, showing his talents and advising you how to do certain techniques and things. And that's one of the things that I would really love to explore a bit more on the live streams, where we have really, really good model makers on the live streams, and while they're building, maybe we can switch the camera over to them and they can walk us through something live. That would be quite cool.
That'd be really cool.
A live tutorial.
Yeah. But even that said, some of the guys have put albums together and explained what they've done as they've gone along as well. So it's just an amazing event and some very clever builds. And it is all mainly about, because it's only 48 hours, yes, you're going to have to cut a few corners here and there. But if you choose the right kit, to keep it as least complicated as possible, it then gives you the ability to do your bases and all that sort of stuff if you wish to, like you did, Graham.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I wasn't sure, if I'm honest, how much I would get built. So I wanted to pick a really simple kit. And the Tamiya 40, I went for one of the older ones, a little Schwinn wagon, which is minimal parts, really. It goes together really quickly and easily. But my goal was to get that built as quickly as possible and get it onto a little bit of scenery, because that's something that I keep shying away from. I want to do it and I keep avoiding it. And I thought, this is my opportunity just to, because I can throw it together, and if it looks like a bag of spanners, nobody's really going to mind, because it was a rush job. As it happens, I'm actually really pleased with how the terrain turned out.
It turned out really nice.
I've certainly gained a lot from it, and it took me out of my comfort zone in many ways, but in a really, really good way. And I've benefited. My modelling's stepped up a little bit, and certainly my confidence has stepped up just off the back of the weekend, really.
That's fantastic to hear. But also, talking about being out of your comfort zone, next year there is the possibility. I've not told you through this yet, so I'm telling you right now. But I have been in contact with a couple of our donors about the possibility of something special for next year. That's ongoing, those chats. But yeah, that could create some further traction on being out of your comfort zone within the 48 hours.
Okay.
We'll find an adventure to that. But obviously the one thing that we didn't have, which is a bit of a shame, but I can understand why, we didn't have the option taken up where you take bits out of the two kits that we provided, or as a suggested rather, and made something completely different, which is a real shame. But we're going to keep sort of that idea for next year as well. So that gives people a year to think ahead about what they might want to build, and also maybe keep a few bits and pieces in the spare box, so you don't have to ruin a kit to do it. So yeah, that's a pretty cool. But yeah, we'll the challenges continue as always.
Indeed.
Very cool. Very cool. Very nice. Yeah, and some lovely feedback as well from everybody who was watching and taking part, which was just brilliant. That everybody seemed to have a really good time. It was just great. Really good.
Yeah. It's been some massive compliments and people taking their time out to make sure their thoughts and views have been known. But also this year we will be looking for feedback. Constructive feedback, negative, positive, what we can do better, what went well, maybe a suggestion box even, so people can own the event a little bit more and get more entangled to it, as always. So,
can we talk about the auction?
Yeah, please do.
So I've taken part in several online auctions for Models for Heroes, as a matter of fact, and they're always good fun. They're always good fun, but I haven't done one for a good few years. So this was like going back to an old friend and some. It was great. The camaraderie and the sniping was just incredible. It was so good. It was so good, and just watching the money coming in. And then there was a couple of kits that just went for crazy money. People were just determined that they were going to have that kit. And the bids were flying, and it was a proper buzz, and it was all done in good taste. It was it was amazing. I absolutely loved it, and I got a nice kit out of it myself. So it was really cool, really cool. So many people involved, and plenty of different people bidding as well. I mean, some big hitters in there who kind of ruled the roost, but hey, nobody's complaining because the dollars were raking in as they went. So it was fantastic, great fun.
And something I think we should mention, just sorry to jump in there, Steve. Something to mention right from the off was a shout out to Crazy Loacher, because he was in all three auctions, all three area auctions. So he was involved in 5 auctions throughout the weekend, and he wasn't shy with what he did.
No.
But what's great about Mr. Loacher is that not only does he bid, and not only does he mean it when he bids, but he also then donates the stuff to other people. Because of the UK, the stuff being in the UK, I think this year is the first year that he's actually said, no, I'd quite like to keep that one lot, but the rest can you give to this person or that person?
Yeah,
so there are some.
When you watching the chat feed, and it's like, you won this one, and you go, yeah, can you donate that to such and such, please? And then every now and again, you just get, that one's mine.
Yeah, it's been great fun. So I haven't contacted those people. I know who they are, and I got their addresses anyway, but I haven't told them it's coming. So they've got a parcel coming to them this week. That will be a big shock to them. And I've done that on purpose. So yeah, he's a phenomenal gentleman, not only to us and that event, but also to YouTubers around the world. He's always helping and supporting. So thank you, Crazy. You are still crazy, but we love you. Sorry, Steve, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say I spoke to one of the people that did put bids in, and he was determined to. He had his eye on a particular kit, and he said, "Well, that's mine, whatever." And he won it, so he was happy with that. So there were some good bargains for people had as well, but no, some of the money that was going around was crazy. But yeah, no, it was good. It was the auctions were really good.
And of course, we also had our bidding couple, which are always entertaining to listen to and watch.
Yeah,
that was very entertaining. Yes.
Is there any outbidding again this year?
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yes.
Were they outbidding each other?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're both at it.
Yeah, they Lewis and Nat love them. They literally sit next to each other, punching each other as they're bidding. So, I really must ask to see if we can get a camera.
Live feed camera.
Yeah,
that would be quite funny. But that was going on as well. So yeah, it was a very active auction this year in the UK, and equally so in Australia as well. The very active goings on. But I have to say the Americans, yet again, wow! You want to watch sniping? Yeah, there were people. They literally just went, "You're not having that. I'm going to make sure I get that. It doesn't matter what the cost." And that's it's quite funny, actually, quite funny to watch, and even more awesome when you're in the position where you actually sit down and tie up what people spend, or have spent rather, over the auction. And like I let out today in the review that we just did, the review we just did on my channel, Crazy was outbid. He was actually outplayed in that in the amount spent, which is
hard to believe.
It is good.
It is. But yeah, it's just brilliant. So a massive thank you to everybody. The bidding wars will continue, and create even more fun. Next year's going to be horrendous. I can see it can be mind blowing. But it's all good. It's really good, because I've also had I had feedback from people that were involved. I've had feedback from some of the people that were doing the presenting. But I've also had some feedback from some of the donors as well that tuned in. Some covertly, and some not so covertly. And they're really, really pleased for us how the event went, and they're really happy to be a part of it. So
that's good.
It's an awesome event.
Yeah.
Good involvement for next year as well, so that's really good.
Oh yeah. I think it's a little bit like last year. I mean, when we started the process of talking to people about donating back in, I think it was about June last year. So it was quite soon after the event, and it was just a cursory, this is obviously next year's coming up. Do you want to be involved? and most of them, without even asking, just went, yeah, no problem. So I don't see any different. It happened any different. I know one particular donor is set to be in all 3 auctions next year that are only in one this year. It was a tester teaser sort of thing. And they were quite astonished how it all went. So they've already told me that they're going to be in all 3. So that's quite amazing. And also, like I said all the way through the stream, the Australian section, I wouldn't say it'd be weak. It was not weak. It's just getting the word out is a lot harder and a little bit more difficult. But certainly the donors from that area have gone full Monty with publicising the event, and that massively showed in the amount of uptake and people watching. So I truly think that's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, that section, especially because a couple of people that are responsible for some of the big shows in Australia have already said that they want to promote it throughout the year. So that's going to be really, really positive for them and for that region as well, but certainly for the donors as well, which is really, really important, because the whole point of it is we all come together and work together as a team. So the donors and the community and everybody.
There's a knock-on effect for the guys down in Australasia as well, because certainly up until very recently, if you chat to anybody from down there, we've got a couple of friends who were down that end of the world, and quite often kits and supplies and stuff are very expensive over there because of shipping. And it would seem that the popularity of the hobby is growing somewhat. And obviously, the more people that get into the hobby, the more stock that can be bought by the retailers and the suppliers, which will hopefully bring the prices down and make it more achievable to more people. So it's a self-fulfilling sort of self-propagating. That's what I was trying to get at. So hopefully those Australian numbers will continue to grow, and New Zealand. Sorry, I don't want to leave them out.
Yeah, well, this year we had a
one.
Yeah, definitely. I don't understand anything you just said, but the New Zealand, of course, this year was the first year we had a donator from that area. So congratulations to them for being the first. I know very little about how many shops and hobby stores there are in that area. So I don't suppose it's very many, but that's very kind of them to get involved.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be phenomenal going forward, and it gets crazier every year. So, there.
Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Any more thoughts?
So my last question to you three is: obviously now the dust is settled, have you got any major plans for the next couple of months about builds or projects? Or are you just going to take it nice and easy this year?
I take it nice and easy every year. No, I'm going to plod along with just the stuff that I've already got on the go. I've got several kits sitting in a box that need completing. So I'm just going to be working through that. Primarily, it's going to be the 1/16. But I've also got a Matilda, a gun carrier sitting in the box, 1/35th scale. I've got an A-wing, which I scratch built a pile of stuff for. So that's to do. I've recorded 5 videos for that A-wing, but just not released them because I've not finished it. I said to myself, don't release any videos until you finish it. So I'm trying my best to not release them, even though YouTube's saying, you must upload a video. I'm not going to, so I'm going to save it until it is finished. So yeah, that's my plan over the next several months. Just continue with what I've already got on the go. Do not start anything new.
Graham,
it'll get to the same point. It'll be finish the build, put it in a box.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm about to finish the Spitfire. Then I've got to go back to the Cameo F-35B, the 148th one, which I bought. Started, put back, started, put back. But yeah, and then after that, not quite sure. I'm doing the Voyager with Steph, but That's sort of stop-start at the moment because when we can get together to do it. But after that, I'm not entirely sure. I'm torn between a few kits of what to start, so I don't know.
Okay.
What yourself, Graham?
On with the Sea King, which is probably going to take me quite a while. And I've also got to continue with the little ruined house sort of diorama vignette type thing that I'm trying to build, which is still progressing on. And again, like I say, confidence boosted. And then I would like to, and I'm more than happy to sort of, start this at any time, really. I would like to get involved in another group build or even just the buddy build.
Buddy build would be nice.
Buddy build, nice.
Yeah, just a few people knocking the same kit up. So watch this space. And also, I might have a go at doing some filming as well.
Nice.
Never had much joy with it in the past, but I'd like to give it a go at some point. But I'll hold that one.
Maybe we should sit down after we've finished here today and maybe think of something the four of us could build as a buddy build.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
See, there's also one thing still on my bench that I really need to get finished because it's been sitting on my bench for almost 5 years now. And that is this. Some of you might remember this.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cobble Street.
Yeah. Blimey.
That has been sitting on my bench for almost 5 years now.
5 years, really?
Is that long?
Yeah. Well, maybe 4 years, but it's a long time.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. I keep looking at it and going, I must finish that.
Yeah.
And then not to.
Cool.
So the hard work on that is done. It's just, you just look at it and you go, nah.
I've got that same thing, but I've got the Academy Viper, the AH1Z, and that's finished. It's painted. I actually decaled it and then messed one of the decals up, so I had to take some of those off. All I need to do is stick the alternate decals on and weather it and stick all the armaments and on. Everything's done. I just need to finish putting it together and stick the decals on again. And for some reason, every time I look at it, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, but I do want to do it, if you know what I mean. It's a really strange thing to have.
Yeah, agreed. Like my fear starts once the build's finished. That's when my fear starts to slowly creep in. You're going to mess this up when you paint it. You're going to mess this up when you paint it.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, this year I must, in the next 3 or 4 months, I must finish builds I've already got. So,
Cool. Cool.
And you, James, what's your plans?
I wouldn't say plans so much, more of the wish list. So obviously I want to get this Liberator finished, which I'm not doing too bad on. I got a couple of things to do for Screwbox, which will probably take precedent after this, or maybe before and after. Yeah, just get that done. No jury. But one of the things in which I really want to start this year is I want to start my deck for my carrier in 135th.
Yes. The other one you got in Telford.
Yeah, so it's the Border Models a khaki carrier deck with airplane.
Nice.
But an unusual colour for it.
Yeah, that's right. It sticks out. You'd be amazed.
But once it
stinks, you can't see it at all. Anyway. But my crazy idea was, the flight deck's very nice, but it would be very much nicer if it had a couple of decks underneath it. So, very big project.
Yes,
but something in which I want to start and just tinker with, because there's going to be quite a lot of scratch building involved to start with. I have to get myself another airplane kit to go with it, because it comes with one, but I want a 0 as well. So that's got to be purchased. So I've got to save up for that. but there's also some weaponry that goes on the side of the aircraft carrier that I ordered yesterday. So that'll be a nice little part build that will go on there. So yeah, I want to start that. It's going to. I think it's going to take me quite a long time, in fairness. But the idea is one of the spaces of my display things in my room at the moment has quite a big diorama in it, which can go on the wall. So I'm going to get that hung up on the wall and out of the way, and that's going to leave that whole area empty. And that's going to be where it goes. It's going to go in there, and I'm just going to add bits to it as I go along, with no pressure of time or anything. And what I'll do is I'll video some of it as I go along. And then when I'm satisfied and get to a certain point of the build, then I'll probably release a few videos and bits and pieces. But don't hold your breath. It's going to be a long project. So yeah, that's really the only aim I've got for this year. Everything else is sort of ad hoc and throw it in there. I've got a couple of bits to do. A couple of bits to do that I've said I would do. But actually, my next build is actually a Revell kit. Which I'd suddenly remembered that I got to do as well. So,
bless you.
That'll be a Revell Jaguar. So, i.e. the car.
Not a 1/8 scale E-type.
No, not a 1/8. No, it is an E-type. No, I didn't win that bid. It is a. I'm just looking underneath the bench here. Hang on. It is a 1/24 E-type. So yeah, that'll be my next little build. I've got it's attached to a couple of other things that I've got to do, so that's why I've chosen that particular kit. But yeah, so hopefully, where are we now? We're coming to the end of March. I would hope that mid-April I will open that box and start building the foundations of what I want to do. I think.
Awesome. Well, we have been going for just over 57 minutes, so I think we should maybe wrap it up. This is going to be the 48 and 48 show, basically. Before the 48 and 48 Fallout show, shall we say.
Fallout, really.
So, one thing to say before we do go. We are fortunate enough, we will have our first guest on the next show, and it'll be entitled Who is at the Bench, or Who is at Their Bench. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I've spoken to them on Facebook, so they know who they are, and they will be joining us for the full show next week, while we do a very subtle and gentle interview of this said person. Maybe not so subtle. Yeah. So you've got that to look forward to next time. I hope you've enjoyed this show. Like I say, it is pretty much a 48 and 48 Fallout show for us. We've really not been involved with anything else over the last week, 2 weeks since the last show. So would anybody like to say any last comments before we sign out?
No, just thank you to everybody who's listened, and keep on tuning in and subscribing and doing all the dewy stuff that you do when you subscribe, your podcasty things, doing your thumbs and your likes and your hearts and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Pretty please.
Pretty please.
Thank you.
Right. Shall we try again? Steve, press the button.
I'm not ready.
He's not even ready. Look at that.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Who put the music on?
You told me to.
No, I said when I say hit the button, Steve, play the music.
So Carl's going to do the intro, then you press it, then you press the button.
Right, okay. Just 1 second then.
Oh, that's this week's outtake. Sorted.
Right,
Right, we're still recording. So
hold up. Hold up.
what? Done it
Hold
again.
up.
Anyway, 3, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you prick.